In this video, I'll show you how to solve the ALEKS problem called expressing the concentration of an intermediate in terms of the concentration of reactants. This is giving us an elementary reaction, and it's actually a reaction that's existing in equilibrium, even though ALEKS is not drawing equilibrium arrows for this. And it wants us to use this reaction and the rate laws for this reaction to write an expression for H2O in this case. So to do this, we're going to write two rate laws, one rate law for the forward reaction. For the forward reaction, we're going to call it rate sub 1, 1 for the forward reaction. We're going to call the rate constant K sub 1, again for the forward reaction. And then remember that we're going to use our reactants for the forward reaction, that's H2 and NO. And because this is an elementary step, we are using the stoichiometric coefficients as the exponents in the rate law right here. And then we're going to write the same thing for the back reaction. For the back reaction, we're going to call that rate minus 1. The rate constant for the back reaction is going to be K minus 1. For the back reaction, which moves from the right side to the left side, these are the products of the reaction. So we have N2O and we have H2O, both of them with a stoichiometric coefficient of 1. For a forward reaction and a backward reaction in equilibrium, the rates are equal to each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to say this is equal to this. And so I'm going to simplify. I'm just going to kind of combine these two equations together. And that's going to give me K1 H2NO squared is equal to K minus 1 and 2O H2O. And once we get that done, we're going to double check what is ALEKS asking us to isolate. It wants us to isolate this H2O term. So that means that we want to divide both sides of this equation by K to the minus 1, or K sub minus 1, and 2O, so that this cancels out. We're left with H2O. This is the answer that we want to plug in over here. Now, I have noticed, not surprisingly, that ALEKS is super picky about the way that you want to way it wants you to format. If you just enter it in like this, it gives you that message that it doesn't understand your answer. It doesn't mark it wrong, but it tells you that it doesn't understand. And so what it wants you to do is actually separate the K's from the rest of the equations. So this one, it would want you to enter it as two fractions, two separate fractions. And that seems to be what makes it happy, instead of putting all of it together as one answer.